Yes, we'll have a lot of flashbacks in the second season. Hey everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm the Monio, the interdimensional demon who talks most about To Be Hero X on YouTube, and you're on my channel. We'll talk about the secrets that will be revealed during the fights in the second season, the exciting moments, and who will need to fight whom for this to happen. But let's take it one step at a time. Now that the first season of To Be Hero X has ended, many have expressed surprise that many mysteries were left unrevealed and many character conflicts unresolved. These issues will obviously be addressed in the second season, which will likely begin with the tournament. Considering that To Be Hero X is a work that doesn't waste narrative opportunities, there are some fights that need to happen, even if they don't necessarily happen during the tournament. However, the tournament is the perfect opportunity to develop the characters, reveal secrets, and move the story forward. Let's start by talking about the most obvious fight, Lin Ling vs Yi-Sol, who is now Yang Cheng. This fight is conceptually very interesting, as both characters were heroes created by the system. However, while Lin Ling achieved her own identity independent of Nice, Yang Cheng assumed an identity that wasn't his. The two characters are opposites in this sense, but their conflict goes far beyond that, as Yi-Sol was responsible for Moon's apparent death, and if my theory is correct, Shao Qing and Moon are the same person. But the Monio, where did you get that? Moon is blonde. And I tell you, yes, but it's already been confirmed that in this world, physical changes can occur due to trust value, as we saw with Lin Ling in the first episode, who took on a similar appearance to Nice. Furthermore, there's a promotional trailer for Nice in which she appears with brown hair, and if you look at the characters' names, you'll see they have practically the same name, just a few letters added. If the two are indeed the same person, it would justify her connection to this new Yi-Sol and add another layer to their conflict. And I obviously believe that Lin Ling will win this fight, probably the longest fight of the season, since Lin Ling is the character who was created to be the protagonist of the series, as he best represents the concept of trust value, in which any ordinary person can become a hero. But the Monio, isn't X the protagonist? And I tell you that narratively speaking, no, since X, like Satoru Gojo, is a character who is too powerful, so the script needs to use him very carefully so that the story doesn't lose its sense of urgency in consequence. And regarding Moon, she's a character I believe may still be alive, since the deja vu Lin Ling had in the first episode, which foretold her death, wasn't exactly explained. If my theory is correct, it makes her an even more interesting character. Let me know in the comments if you also think she's alive. Another interesting fight will be Little Johnny vs Ghostblade, since the script will eventually have to deal with the fact that Ghostblade murdered Little Johnny's father, so they must face each other, with Little Johnny's motivation being revenge, and Ghostblade's motivation being redemption. And of course Ghostblade is much stronger and he would probably win, but what I think will happen is that Ghostblade will surrender, to complete his redemption arc, and Little Johnny will be considered the winner. But I believe he will be able to forgive Ghostblade, also ending his character arc, with many flashbacks and many emotional parallels, since fatherhood is the common theme for both characters but in different ways, probably being one of the most emotional fights. Another fight that will likely happen is Loli vs Nice, with similar motivations to the previous one. Loli seeking revenge for her father, and Nice seeking redemption. This fight will likely address, through flashbacks, the reason behind Nice's apparent survival and his connection to Shang Chao. For those who think Nice won't experience redemption, let's remember that Nice appears in the new opening acting normally alongside other heroes, including Lin Ling. We can also see him in his normal form. So apparently he should lose that strange appearance with the cracked face we saw at the end of episode 24 and eventually become a real hero. Nice was originally a fraud, even his main villain was just his friend acting, but in this second season, we'll likely see him rise to the status of a real hero, while we'll also see Loli dealing with the trauma of losing her father and likely maturing as a character. Another fight I believe will be Dragon Boy vs X, as it's confirmed in the first season that Yanmo's original plan was to use Dragon Boy's body as a sort of vessel to create a new Zero. This plan will eventually continue as the hero agencies continue to pursue X. Obviously, the result of the fight will be Dragon Boy's complete humiliation, much to the delight of everyone watching. We also have some characters left out of these theories, such as Queen, Ahu, and Lucky Cyan. However, these characters weren't developed in such a way that they had defined conflicts with other characters. So, I could create a theory here that Queen will face Lucky Cyan, for example, but that would be completely empty speculation, with very little certainty, so I prefer not to comment on these characters. But what about you? Which fight are you most looking forward to in the second season? Leave a comment, and if you liked the video, subscribe to see more content. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.